Sam Smith, I Feel Love. Good afternoon. That is the name of the song, but I do also actually feel love because I'm joined by John and Peter from Ashton Photographic and Imaging Society. That sounds very posh. I'm thinking cameras, I'm thinking lenses.
Yep, all of those things.
It's art, darling, it's art. Tell me more about your club.
Okay, well, we're based at St John's Church. That's Hurst Cross in Ashton. And we meet on a Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. And the meeting usually goes on till about 9:45, 10 o'clock. Yeah. We have all sorts of events, and we go out and about and take photographs, so we're not always stuck in the club. But we do tend to have we're trying to encourage better quality speakers to come along and talk to us. We've got one gentleman who's coming along shortly, and next week in fact, a chap called David Howson, and he's a specialist wildlife photographer. But anybody can come along to our events. It's £3 if you're a member and £4 for non-members, and that's particularly the case for this gentleman next week. Is a professional wildlife photographer. He's taken some brilliant pictures. He's going to bring them all along and show us some of his best pictures and show us how he took them, and so we can get an idea of what to do.
Do you know what I love is, and I don't mean to offend you guys are of a certain age, but, and it's quite inspirational, you're still learning.
Yeah.
And you're still in love
learning
and passionate about photography, and I find that absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But you could speak, you can stand in front of a crowd.
Yeah, we have done many times.
Yeah.
We do our own critiques. We'll come on to that in a little while if you like, but we do give talks ourselves. I give talks on wildlife photography. I give talks on Photoshop and Lightroom applications, because we do look at that side of it as well. What you do once you got your camera on the once you got your phone start again. Once you've got your photograph on the camera, then you've got to get it off the camera and you've got to do something with it.
Yeah, exactly. What I love is, though, you have to learn the new technology.
Yes.
I bet that's not easy, because every year or every couple of years there's something new or an update or something like that.
Right.
So you always have to be on the ball.
That's right. Photoshop is an ever-changing application, because most of it now is done on a subscription basis, which means that you pay for a year's membership, and they give you Photoshop, and then they're gradually or regularly improving it or changing it. So it's an ongoing thing, rather than in the old times with applications where you keep your Photoshop for 12 months and then they bring a new version out, and that sometimes that's easier to learn than other things, than when they sort of introduce gradually, because occasionally you'll miss something.
And is this something that every photographer should use, Photoshop?
Photoshop is the standard.
Because I never think of that. I just take a picture and go, okay, my face looks all right in that. My head's shining a bit, let's put it on Facebook. But editing's a very important part, because
absolutely.
you can enhance colour over here and down here, or draw attention to a particular part of the frame.
Yeah.
I'm going to come to Peter now. So wildlife photographer David Howson. We say wildlife. Is that local wildlife? Is this in Africa or the Antarctica?
I think mainly with David's talk, it'll be what's in the UK, because we've got a lot of wildlife in the UK, very exciting animals and birds and insects, etc. So you don't need to go to Africa to photograph wildlife. You certainly don't.
That's something we don't think about, because I leave the house, I walk down the gloomy pavement, it's usually raining, I come to work, but I don't look around me. Because I watch so many nature programs, I think, okay, it's all happening away from here. But really,
it's happening all around.
Even if you look down between the grass or the leaves, or look up in a tree or a field somewhere, or in the sky, there's beautiful wildlife.
Yeah.
But how do you take pictures of it? Because I can't see most things really. And if a bird's flying over my head, I'm not steady enough or articulate enough just to grab it. So give me some advice on how to take a picture.
Well, one of the things that David Howson's going to talk about this coming Thursday is how he took the picture. which is something that I'm looking forward to, because I'm not a brilliant wildlife photographer. I'm still a novice. John's more expert than me on wildlife. I'm more of I take action photography, but I want to learn more about it. So that's one of the things I'm going to really look forward next Thursday to actually saying how we got the picture.
You got really excited. His eyes lit up, everybody. His gorgeous blue eyes, because he can't wait to learn some new skills.
Yeah.
I guess it's about patience, waiting, timing, and loads of different facets to it. The type of lens you use as well.
Yeah.
It's just mind-boggling. There's so many different ingredients to how to make it work.
Well, the world of photography is changing. I mean, we're now seeing an increasing number of people using their iPhones and their Androids, etc.
Does that offend you?
No, it doesn't. We encourage people to come to the club with an iPhone or an Android phone if they're taking photographs, because it's the future of photography. I mean, I've just downloaded 3 apps onto my iPhone, which will take my camera phone photography to another level.
Wow.
Fantastic. When I've learned how to use them, that is.
And these apps you have to pay for as well, because they're quite advanced.
No, because you
Get
go
free
on,
apps.
you go on to what's it called?
Instagram?
Not Instagram. No.
What?
To get more information about apps and things. Oh, my mind's gone
Oh,
blank.
Wikipedia.
Onto the App Store.
No. Come on.
Google.
Not Google. No, the. Anyway, you can download information.
We understand, yeah.
On almost anything to do with photography, and learn how to use them.
So do you still carry
YouTube,
around...
YouTube, yeah, YouTube.
There we go.
Mine was just going blank. I was getting old.
So do you ever take pictures with your phone, or you're strictly...
Oh no, I take loads of pictures with the phone. In fact, we've had a couple of camera phone competitions at the club, and I have to very modestly admit I got first and second in the last one that we had.
How did you get 2 positions?
I know, but I had to put 4 pictures in, you see, and 2 of my pictures came first and second.
John, how do you feel about that? Did you enter?
I was gutted. Yes,
Yeah.
I did enter myself, but
Oh, no.
I wasn't up to Peter's standard.
So that's the thing, though, because I think with a phone, anyone can do it, really. I think it's
Yeah.
easy, you point and click, but you must have an eye.
Yes, you've got to have an eye for the picture.
What
yeah.
makes your pictures better than mine or the average person with an iPhone or smartphone?
Well, you think about when you take the pictures, where you're going to stand to take it to get the best possible.
So position
picture.
yourself.
Position.
Yeah.
And whether you're going to go high. Sometimes getting a low position gets a better focus on the picture, or from a height. So it's not just a case of point and shoot. It's a case of think about it before you.
You can move the camera.
Yeah.
Well, it's portable. It's not heavy
Yeah,
at all.
absolutely.
You can move it and
Yeah.
create a shot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I'm out and about and I'll say, oh, take a picture of me and a mate. And the stood diagonally, this is crazy, stood diagonally to me, miles away, and is it me or where's Wally? I don't know. I look at it back, and then I have to crop it just to get a bit closer, but then you're losing the information and it's pixelated. And then it just looks a bit half-hearted, really.
Half-hearted, yeah. Yeah.
I know I'm only young, I'm 28, but I'm learning more of you than forget the YouTubes and all my mates and growing up with this technology. I'm going to come to one of your meetings and just pester you.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I've got these 3 new apps, and I'm actually leaving to go to Australia for 3 months next week after next, and when I come back in May, I've got an evening where I've got to talk to the camera club about what happened in Australia, and what I'm hoping to do is to show pictures I've taken on my DSLR, but also off the iPhone as well, using these 3 apps,
And you'll compare them.
so I'll hopefully in the 3 months I'm away, I'll have learned how to use the 3 apps in conjunction with the phone.
When you do, come on and tell
Yeah.
us all about it.
I will do, yes, it'll be very interesting.
I love that you're going to Australia. Have you got a plan? Or are you just going to think, right, I turn up and I'm just going to go with my instincts?
Oh no, we're going to see my grandchildren and my son, but we're doing a road trip because we're flying into Melbourne. We've hired a camper van. We're going to have a week on the road down what they call the Great Ocean Road to Adelaide, and then we're staying in Adelaide for 3 months. Yeah.
You are coming back, right?
Oh,
John,
yeah.
I don't think he's coming back. I
Oh,
think he's
he's
bought a
coming
home
back.
over
Well,
there.
I'll tell you what, I've also been down the Great Ocean Road, and I wouldn't come back either.
That's one all.
It's fantastic, yeah. But that's what I'm hoping to do in May, is to do a talk to the club on what we did in Australia, but most importantly, how we've learned how to get the best out of the iPhone.
Yeah.
'Cause you can get an awful lot out of an iPhone.
And does it matter what iPhone you have, or is an iPhone an iPhone?
I think most of these new apps that I bought, they're really for the iPhone 7 onwards.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
really up to date, isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, it's fairly up to date, yeah.
Yeah.
They're on iPhone 11 now, aren't they?
Oh, God, don't. I'm on an iPhone 8.
The
I
new,
feel
the,
bad.
new, the new one that's just come out, the iPhone 11 Pro, is about £1,000. It's
Wow.
got 3 lenses in it.
3 lenses?
3 lenses in an iPhone.
And they make one image together.
Oh no, but you can use one's a telephoto, one's a wide angle, and one's a standard. You can switch from lens to lens, and I mean,
I feel like I've just walked into the Mac store.
yeah, it's
That
fantastic.
baffles me. I should be up to date because the stereotype is all these kids today, you know, they can do anything with this technology, but I think I need some help.
Yeah, well, so don't we all?
No, I know, God. Right, guys, we are going to play a song.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this too much. I knew I should have played the Rolling Stones ages ago. We're going to come right back to you if that's okay.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
John and Peter, everybody, from Ashton Photographic and Imaging Society. Stereophonics. Local boy in a photograph. That's for Peter and John, who are my very special guests this afternoon from Ashton Photographic and Imaging Society. So I'm guessing you guys have a Facebook page, that's a given.
Yeah.
You
we
have a Instagram page, or we're working on the Instagram page.
Yeah, we've got an Instagram page, but there's not a lot on it at the moment. So we're sort of we're still working on that. But we have the main thing we've got is a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And very shortly we will have a Twitter page.
Right.
And
It's
the
all
links-
important.
Yeah, the links are on our website.
Right.
Which,
That's fantastic.
Is www.ashtonphotoclub.com.
Thank you. Instagram's important because it's like an art exhibition. It's very imagery based, and it is an art form within itself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the platform that will give you the justice and the praise you deserve and all the attention in the world. I think
Yes.
you're going to do really, really, really well.
Yes, we're certainly going to develop that over the next few months.
Come on, he's going to Australia. If he doesn't get a couple of decent photos at least and come back for your Instagram
Indeed.
page,
Yeah,
Yeah.
then you're not invited back
Yeah.
on. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
I will
Peter.
do. Yeah, but Instagram's very. I think Instagram's very important. I've just not had time really over the last few months to start getting the Instagram page
To do it
up and
properly
running.
is like
Yeah.
a part-time job.
It is. Well, I administer our Facebook page,
Yeah.
and you have to go on it every day, and it's time consuming.
It very much
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
But imagine when you get the Instagram and the Twitter as well,
Yeah,
you're going to need an apprentice. You're going to need I'll cough again.
yeah,
You're going to need an apprentice.
yeah. And well, yeah, if you can help us, only too happy.
I'll do my best. No, I'm really into it. Now, I used to do photography years ago, and I thought I was into it, but speaking to you guys, you've really put me to shame. But I'm not embarrassed so much because I think if I come to your group, I'll learn so much.
you
It's
will,
basically like a master's degree, but I'll have fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what's going on in the world. Maybe because I feel like I've stepped into the Witches of Eastwick, but I think you've drank an Alexa or something, or you've found yourself a magic lamp because you guys are younger than me. You've got a couple of grey hairs, but there's something inside you that's so youthful and it's infectious. And I think you're an inspiration to the wider community. Well, Tameside, yeah, but the whole country. We need to get you out there. You got your characters and your persona, and the way you present yourselves is just a gift, basically.
Thank you.
Absolute
Thank you.
gift. Let's talk about now the archives, local archives.
Right. Well, yes, the archives. Basically, what we're saying is that people nowadays taking photographs on mobile phones and compact cameras, they don't tend to keep them in the way that years and years ago everybody had a shoebox under the bed with a load of photographs. You don't get that now. The photographs just disappear when they change the phone. Quite often they don't bother putting the photographs into the cloud or transferring them onto the new phone, so they just get lost. And so our plan is that we want to try and redress the balance. We want some pictures of Tameside as they are now, because we know, take the centre of Ashton at the moment with the new tram station and the new buildings that are going up there. That's changing daily. Now, if people aren't taking photographs of that, then
It's going to be forgotten.
it's going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
But it's Peter's plan, really. It's
Yeah.
Peter's idea. So I'll let him sort of expand on that.
We started the archive in November 2019, and we want to look at Ashton as it is now and on again into the future. But also we need to look back a little bit, perhaps 5 or 10 years, or if anybody's got any pictures out there of Tameside from 5 or 10 years ago, please let us have them, because they'll go onto the archive. So it's now, because everything's changing so quickly. And of course, the town centre's changing, the buildings are changing, but it's not just about that. It's about public transport, the new trams. I mean, hey, look, last time I remember trolley buses, but yeah, I do. But also it's cars. The cars are changing, and of course there's events. I mean, somebody said to me a few weeks ago, he met his wife and he's been married for nearly 50 years, at a carnival event in Tameside. What is it, Ashton Line as it was then. But nobody's been searching everywhere. Nobody's got any pictures from that event. Now, so we in the future, we look sort of in 30 or 40 years' time, there'll be people saying about events that happened in the town, and nobody's got a picture of it.
It's a beautiful project because you want to
So-
say to your younglings, this is where I came from, this is where you live now, but this
Yeah.
is how it looked
Yeah.
way back when.
But there's another aspect to this as well. My wife's been doing a project for our grandchildren, and she's been looking at old pictures from her grandparents from the Victorian era, and the pictures are absolutely pin-sharp fantastic. But when you start to look at pictures from like the 1950s and early 60s, taking on things like Brownie 127s, etc., they're not very good, and they're not standing the test of time. So those pictures need to go on to be digitalised. Otherwise, they're just going to fade and they're just going to disappear forever.
Why were the pictures sharper in the Victorian era and not the 50s and 60s?
Professional equipment, because most pictures in the Victorian era were taken by on very good quality cameras and by professional photographers.
So it's more disposable in the 50s and 60s.
Indeed, it was the beginning of the disposable era.
Right.
And this is where we're thinking what's happening now with people taking pictures with their iPhones and camera phones and all the rest of it. Those pictures are going to disappear. But if we put them onto our remote drive, they're going to be there forever, because we've just bought a very expensive external hard drive, not just a cheap one, but a really expensive one that will live for many years to come. And so we've got a permanent record of Tameside, and not just Ashton, but Tameside generally, as it is now and into the future. Who knows, 30 years down the line, there could be an academic doing a project, and where does he come to? Our archive, and gets just the picture he's looking for. But it could be the picture that you took.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Not a lot of people have that foresight.
No.
John was saying now we have these devices, the iPhones and smartphones, and we're in a very disposable culture because we take pictures without a purpose because it's so easy and accessible.
Exactly, yeah.
We snap, and it doesn't really mean anything anymore.
No.
We don't really look at anything the way we used to, and so when it disappears, we don't miss it. So you guys have photography with a purpose.
Yes.
The project sounds fantastic, and I love that you're looking into the past whilst thinking about the future. Incredible, because people don't look around anymore and actually see what's around them. And John said, time's moving so fast, we don't actually notice our environment. And I'm terrified because, I mean, you've really opened my eyes. In 30 years' time, I'm not going to remember what next door looked like.
No.
Or the pub across the road. So thank you so
it's
much.
still there.
If it's exactly, but that's a terrifying thought. Thank you so much for coming in today, guys. Before I let you go, let's just plug the event one more time. It's David Howson, wildlife photographer. Just tell me a bit more about that. Where is it and when is it?
Okay, it is next Thursday, the 23rd of January, and it's at our clubhouse, which is the church at St John's, at Hurst Cross, Ashton, underlying Kings Road. And it starts at 7:30. We're moving forward half an hour for this one. So it's a 7:30 start on that night. There will be a break for refreshments in the middle, and it will cost £4 for non-members, £3 for members. Anybody is welcome, everybody is welcome, and we hope that it inspires one or two people who are not members to actually join the club and see what they can do themselves. We hope it inspires them, because I'm sure the talk will inspire us.
If they have any sense, they will be inspired. John and Peter from the Ashton Photographic and Imaging Society, thank you so much. I know you're very
welcome.
busy men, so go and get snapping. And promise me, Peter,
Go shopping.
take some pictures of the aisles. The bread aisle's always a good one.
Right, yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a
Thanks.
wonderful weekend. I'll see you very soon. When you're in Australia, please be careful, okay? Enjoy yourself.
Oh, I will.
But be
yes.
very, very careful.
It's raining in Melbourne.
Is it really? It rained in Australia?
It's absolutely chucking
God.
down in Melbourne at the moment.
And John-
It's disrupting the Australian Open tennis.
John, I'll see you on Monday.
Oh, you
Stay
will
tuned
indeed,
for
Josh.
Cynic Guru, and we're going to play some Madonna as well. Stay tuned. Good afternoon.
My Tameside.